Okay, so that gives you just kind of a general overview, and if I can get myself out of the screen over here, we'll get back to the Explore Programs page. Did anybody, medical billing and coding? All right, let me share my screen again, and we're going to go through. If you notice on the academic page that we just looked at, we have 6 areas of focus. So the last comment I saw, and Marcella, if you can let me know, can you guys even hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, good. I'm like, I thought I had myself on mute there for a minute. I'm going to go on to this medical billing and coding, and maybe I'm going to answer your questions. If not, if you put them in the chat. Medical billing and coding is under our medical office technology program. And that is one of those degrees that is designed to prepare you for the workforce. So when you go to a program that you're interested in and you take a look on this academic programs page, it's going to give you a little description, going to give you some potential careers and what kind of money you might want to make. And these are the actual pathways through. A lot of our programs, especially ones like this, have certificates and degrees. So you can start out with a certificate that maybe will take a year, get a job doing what that certificate has prepared you to do, and then continue to stack certificates on top of it until you receive an associate's degree. So medical coding and billing, this is the certificate program. It's 42 credit hours, and this is the associate of applied science degree, which is 60 credit hours. The main difference there between those programs is the certificate is going to be only classes that prepare you for medical coding and billing, and the degree is going to have maybe a couple more classes that prepare you to be in a workplace, like business writing or business speaking and some maybe writing courses. Anybody, Marcel, is anybody got another program they want to take a look at? We can look at entrepreneurship.
Criminal justice, maybe, and entrepreneurship.
That is under the public service category. And as you can see here, and Marcella addressed it, I think, in the beginning before a lot of you were on here, we have a police academy. So the police academy is designed to get you through to a certification in Texas to be a peace officer. So it is a Texas specific program. The criminal justice program is open to anyone around the world. All of the programs are online, and just like the others, there's a video that you can watch if you want to. Gives you some options for what careers you might seek. The main difference between the police academy and taking a criminal justice degree is the police academy prepares Texas people to take a test in Texas to become a police officer. The criminal justice is a lot more broad. The degree is a lot more broad, and it teaches you things about criminal justice. But then when you apply for a police position at a police department anywhere in the United States, you will still have to take some kind of certification test. A lot of times, some of the people that come to our police academy are what's called sponsored cadets. There are some smaller police departments in our area, and they screen and hire a cadet, but then they move forward and send them to our police academy, and then when they get their certification, they start working as a police officer in that department. So police officers are certainly in demand, and this just gives you some idea of the different criminal justice. Here's a certificate program that is 30 credit hours, and then the degree is 2 years. There are really two choices with criminal justice. One of them is a corrections specialization, and the other is a more broad criminal justice degree. So those are the things that you're going to be able to find on here. I can't see the chat when I'm sharing the screen, Marcella, so somebody's going to have to tell me.
Can you kind of show entrepreneurship as well?
Sure. So that's going to be in business and business technology under business. And with business, this is one of those programs that you need to decide your path. We have an associate of science in business administration, that is designed to transfer to a four-year university. And we have an Associate of Applied Science in Business Management with a couple different options available. That is designed to get you into the workplace. Does it mean you can't transfer to a four-year university? No, it does not mean that. You can. You'll just have to take some of the things that universities require, like the core classes, some history, some government, and those kind of things. So this gives you an idea. Here is the business management entrepreneur pathway. And then you can see entrepreneurship is a certificate program, but that certificate program is going to stack into one of these other degrees. And I'm hoping if I click this, it's going to show us. So you start with entrepreneurship, you move on to a second certificate of completion, and then to an Associate of Applied Science. And then if you choose to go to university, a lot of universities have a Bachelor of Applied Science now, and these are folks that accept our credits, but you will have to go back and take some things that you would have taken in a freshman or sophomore kind of area. Anything else? You're on mute, Marcella. I don't hear you.
Sorry, thank you. Barb, can you kind of go over I don't know what I want to do when I grow up, but I want to do something and take my core classes until I figure it out degree?
Yes, we purposefully don't put that in here. But we have a couple degrees that are popular with students who want to transfer but don't know what they want to do. And I'm going to try to find something. Associate of Arts and Associate of Science. This is a link to our core curriculum. This is what the state of Texas accepts for if you get a degree from the state of Texas, all students have to take this 42-hour core curriculum. So it's English, it's math, it's history, government, psychology, some fine arts class, and all of those things. So that's an interdisciplinary studies, but then it has 18 credit hours. That what you're supposed to do with those 18 credit hours is determine what you want to try to pursue in a 4-year and take the prerequisite courses for that. So for an example, I had a student that I knew very well, and he was on that degree plan, and he just was taking random stuff because he didn't know what he wanted to do with those 18 credit hours. Well, that's great. He learned a lot, and he enjoyed the classes. But the problem is when he goes to transfer, he's going to have to come back and take a lot more classes to be ready to take those junior and senior level classes in whatever he decides his major to be. So that's why we really kind of try to direct students to the Career Center. They have a lot of resources that are available to determine what you have the aptitude for. And if nothing else, have you guys ever flipped a coin to decide what you wanted to do? And then when you got the coin flipped, you go, oh, well, that isn't what I want to do. I want to do the other thing. If nothing else, that aptitude test and the career discovery stuff is going to show you some options, and you're going to look at them and go, well, yeah, this makes sense. This is what I want to do. Or you're going to go, no, I don't want to do that. Let's dig a little deeper and see if there's something that sounds a little better. But, you don't really know what you're getting into until you start a lot of times, but this will at least help you get there. A lot of military students take general studies because they can apply a lot of evaluated credit to that. So, you definitely should get your credit evaluated, but you don't necessarily want to choose a degree based on where you get the most credit, because you want to choose a degree that's going to get you where you want to be with your future. If you're in the Army, you don't ever have to take a kinesiology class. And a lot of times, depending on your rank and what training you had, you can skip some other things like speech and so forth. So do you want me to move on to the locations, or are there more questions about degrees?
Okay, I have somebody here says, I already have a certificate in medical billing and coding in Puerto Rico, but I want to have an AAS in medical billing. What do I have to do?
Probably we need to connect you with our department there, because what they're going to do is ask you to maybe send an unofficial copy of your transcript so that they can take a look at it. They may need some assistance from Marcelli to translate it, but that's the start. So, you know, it's a little, if the classes are very much the same, especially if you took any kind of certification test, you probably will get transfer credit for those, but it really depends on how different the degrees are between ours and theirs.
Most of the, just so you know, a lot of the schools, not all of them, but a lot of the schools, the major schools in Puerto Rico are part of the Middle States regional accreditation. So it depends a lot also on what kind of accreditation the school that you went to has, and specifically, does it have it also, does it cover those programs as well? So that's why we just need to get those transcripts, and then they get evaluated, and we make sure that we can accept that portion of it, and we can then, once the transcript is evaluated, then we can tell you what we can accept and what we can't. And I just wanted to verify, because I know we have a degree in medical billing, and usually, just so that you know, anytime you transfer from any other college, it doesn't matter if it's Puerto Rico, it could be a Texas college, it could be any other state. What we look at as an institution, and what institutions do, is we look at the classes and if the classes transfer over. We don't, and there are some exceptions, but for the most part, we do not automatically just take a degree plan and say, oh, you already have a degree in billing and coding, so now you're only going to do all the other stuff. No. So that's why Barb is saying we need to look at your classes and verify that the accreditation, and also that the degree plan that you took matches something that matches what we have, and that it's transferable based on our accreditation. I know it's kind of a weird thing, but that's pretty much how that works. And there's always exceptions and loopholes, but overall, the majority of the time, that's how that works.
And I put the degree plan up so that you can kind of take a look, and you can refer to this, and you'll be able to tell if the classes look the same as what you had before. But I think we need to give her either Cindy Dunn or Kerwin or Lovey's email address, and you can just communicate directly with the department there. And if you can send them a transcript, they'll be able to give you at least an initial idea of what might transfer. Hopefully all of it.
So I actually also talked to Veronica, who is the Kate Center Advisor Director. She might know as well.
Okay. Anything else on degrees, programs of study? Because my next thing, I'm going to go ahead and do the locations and then hand it back to you, Marcelli, or?
There is a question on TSI assessment, and I don't know if Jeff, you want to wait to answer that one?
I'm on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. The TSI assessment is needed if someone does have a GED. A lot of people refer to that exam as an entrance exam, and it's not an entrance exam. It's considered a placement exam. It determines your level of college readiness. Are you college ready, or do you need some developmental courses in a particular area? So yes, a TSI assessment is needed if you have a GED.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I guess it's my turn.
We talk about locations. That's my other thing.
Okay, talk about locations before I go.
Okay, this is short. You know, CTC is somewhat unique because whenever we started losing military students to PCS, we just decided to go follow them in a lot of cases. So we have locations all over the United States at military installations and also in Europe. But the really handy thing for people who are here in Texas is that we have so many degrees and certificates that are available online. You know, a lot of people really prefer the classroom thing, but it comes in handy sometimes to have some capability to do online classes. So just so you know, The only full programs that we don't have online are the ones that really require, like obviously we don't have a nursing program online because you kind of need to go and deal with patients or simulated patients. But there's a lot of flexibility if you're active duty military or if you're a military family member and you know you're going to PCS somewhere. Come look at our locations and you may be surprised at how many different places across the country. And we have a gentleman I think he's still on, that's at JBLM, and we're going to connect him with Jenny and her staff there. Because, at Central Campus, we're big. Like, we have all these departments, and all the departments do a different thing. So you can't always find one person that can answer all your questions. If you're at one of these locations, there are usually 2 to 3 people in the office, and they will be able to, if they don't know the answer, they'll get it for you. So if you're not if you're not in Killeen in this general area, I would encourage you to try to find your local rep to help you work through the processes. And see, that's all I got on locations, Marcella. So.
All right, well, that works. I can take over. All right, let me officially introduce myself. I don't think I did that, so let me do that real quick. My name is Maritzeli Vargas. I'm the Director of Student Life and Activities, which is why I like to be a little peppy when these calls, because they are boring sometimes. So I like to be like, whoa, let's do some crazy things, okay? So if you have the crazy ideas, if you have the crazy things in your mind and you want to throw them my way, please do, because I know that you can be like, I happen to be all the time. I got it. Anyway. So part of what I oversee, which is what we're going to be talking about, let me talk about the general services that we offer. We offer a lot of services. My department falls under what is called student success and persistence, which means that we need you to be successful. If you're not successful, we're not successful. We don't do well if you don't do well. So if you have issues, if you don't know what you're going to do, how to deal with it, come see us. That's what we're here for, okay? So Barb's going to show you a little video that has some of those services. And if you need some assistance with any of those specifically, please let me know. While she's playing the video, I'm going to put my email in the chat. And so you're welcome to contact me and answer so that I can help you directly if necessary at any time. Take it away, Barb, again.
You may have enrolled as an individual, but once you become a student at Central Texas College, you're not alone. We have a variety of support services and resources to support you and help you succeed. CTC's Academic Studio Student Success Center is a one-stop shop for all your student needs. Students can receive academic advising in person and online tutoring and participate in study groups. Qualified students can take advantage of textbook lending and childcare assistance. As a college student, you'll spend a lot of time in the library, and ours offers a variety of services and resources to help keep you on track. Students can get help writing research papers and submit them for review free of charge. You can bring your own laptop or borrow one of ours, and if you need a quiet place to study, rooms are available on a first-come, first-served basis. If you have questions, the Ask a Librarian email service is available 24 hours a day. Or if you need immediate responses to your questions, the live chat and text service can help. Bad at math? You're not alone. We offer a math lab that provides assistance with everything from college algebra to calculus. And if you need more help with math or any other subject, we offer online tutoring by appointment for up to 2 hours per day. Students with a qualifying documented disability can receive reasonable academic accommodations to include extended testing time, separate testing areas, note takers, and sign language interpreters. Please visit our webpage or visit us in person for more information. Worried about your options after you graduate? We've got you covered. Our Career Center offers career counseling, employment and recruitment services, job fairs, and more. And if you're not quite sure what career you'd like to pursue, use the Career Assessment tool to help you identify what you're good at and what careers are best suited for you. College can be overwhelming, but we are here to help. The Substance Abuse Resource Center offers individual and group counseling, as well as information on how to deal with stress. Eagles may fly alone, but at CTC, we soar with you.
So that's our little presentation with that. Yes, don't ever feel like you're alone. Even if you're, like right now, honestly, it is one of those things where you're like, what? I am far away. I have nobody to talk to. What do I do? Let us know. I included my email in there because we're working sometimes on the campus, sometimes off because of pandemic and all this craziness that's happening. You can find me by email the best, or you can type something in Discord. And I went ahead and put the Discord information in there. So if you have that, that's another option for you. I want to give a quick shout out to Jennifer on Facebook. She used to work for us. And then while she was working with us, she was going to the police academy, graduated, and then went on to become a police officer in bigger, better places. So shout out to her because she sent me a message just letting me know, yes, that she's watching us and that she loves us all and we love her. Miss you. So anyway, so now you see we have some services actually help support you, tutoring, and all of these things are free, just so that you guys know. Like some places you have to pay for tutoring. We do that online, and actually we were doing that online even before the pandemic. You can actually talk to somebody in the library. That was going on even before the pandemic, no matter where you're at. So please make sure that you know kind of that we're here for you and that you can get a hold of us. Now, the other part of what I do is I oversee clubs well, that's just another part, let's just say. Another part of the things that I oversee are the clubs and organizations. And I know I talked to somebody earlier about to Fuller. Yes, I talked to you about Net Impact. Barb actually oversees one of the clubs and organizations with Rotaract. We have some great organizations, and a lot of them are meeting. Well, they're basically meeting online right now. So if you still want to be a part of these organizations, it doesn't matter where you're at. We can have virtual meetings, and you can meet and talk about have your meetings and figure out your projects and things like that, and how you can still be part of a community even if you're not here. So Barb, are you going to show us that little video or are we going to skip it? Barb said yes. Okay, awesome. She is going to show us this.
When I enrolled at Central Texas College, I was worried about my classes, meeting new people, and what to expect. The tour of the campus with a student ambassador was pretty cool. He made me feel really comfortable, and he had all the right answers. New student orientation helped out a lot. I received information about the rules and guidelines on campus and how they apply to me. I was able to ask questions about things I wasn't sure about, and I felt more prepared for life as a CTC student. They told me about student life. It's the best thing ever. I can relax and have fun, hang out with other students like me. I met people from other backgrounds and made connections that I never thought were possible. Student life also connected me to campus clubs and organizations. I joined a club and found out it was a great way to have fun and make a difference on campus and in the community. College can be stressful, and forming new relationships can be hard. Student life helped me to grow as an individual and make connections and memories that will last a lifetime.
So in that video, it makes me a little bit sad because that used to be what my the student life area, that gaming room, that's where my office is located. And so right now my office is really, really quiet compared to what it normally was pre-pandemic. So again, this is why I'm so excited about seeing you guys, but because all I had to do was step outside of my office and I had like 20 students right there, either playing pool, video games, or doing homework, doing things they shouldn't be, but they are. And, you know, and I had to at least be like, yo, what are you doing? You know? So this is why I miss y'all. So again, student life is really meant to be an opportunity for you guys to meet people that are going through the same thing that you're going through, support each other, and be able to help create these connections that you can continue to have even after college. So I hope that you find a way to really connect still with us, even if we, you know, even if you're not local, even if nothing else, please reach out to us. I know I'm dying to have students that actually want to do events and things online. I am constantly trying to do things on Discord. You want to play video games with me? Just come join me. Usually I'm the one playing Mario Kart and Animal Crossing, even Smash Brothers, and I'm not that good at it, but I need y'all to help me out. Yeah, it's me. I'm the one doing it most of the time. So help me out. I can't be doing this alone. And if nothing else, if you guys want to laugh, so you can see how I don't know how to stay in one of these platforms in Smash Brothers, I can do okay unless it's one of these platforms that you can fall off. I'll jump and I'll just fall off. I never can get myself back up. If you want to see that, come join me on Discord. And you can get to see that all the time. If you want to see some content or something fun that you guys want to do, please let me know. I'm constantly trying to come up with new ideas, but I can't do this alone. And I don't have the students to help guide me like I normally do. So please help me out. Anyway, I took up way longer than I probably should have, but I just got a little excited here. I think now we're going to have Jeff Pyatt. He's going to let you know about how to be a student, those basic steps that you need to start with, and how to be successful in that part of it as well. Okay?
Thanks, Mariceli. Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Pyatt, and I am an admissions advisor recruiter here for Central Texas College. I'd like to welcome everybody today to our info session. And one of the videos a minute ago said that college can be overwhelming. Absolutely it can, but I want to assure you that all the hosts here today have been in your position before where you might not know the necessary steps and so on. So I might not know all the answers, but I know the people who do. So I just posted my email there. You're welcome to send me an email. Say, hey, Jeff, I don't know the answer. Please direct me in the right situation. So I'll be glad to do that. Part of my duties as the admissions advisor and recruiter is to assist students with the application process and tell people about CTC and represent CTC in the community and so on. So welcome to our info session today. Barb, why don't you go to our website, and I'm just going to kind of highlight how to apply for admissions. So at the top of the screen, you see the red Apply Now button. If you click that, you're going to scroll down to the bottom, and you're going to sign up. So if you hit sign up, you're going to put your first name in there. You're going to put your last name. You're going to put a good working email address. And I don't believe that everybody here is in high school. I think some of the applicants today or people visiting today are non-traditional students. So if you're in high school, don't put a high school email address on there. Click I'm not a robot, and you're going to hit submit.
Can I just jump in, Jeff?
Sure.
Because we have somebody who's transitioning out. Don't put your Army email that you're going to be losing soon.
Okay, good point. Good point. I haven't thought about that. That's a very good point. So when you hit submit, the email address that you put in there, you're going to go to that email, and you're going to open the email, and there's a big blue long link in there. You're going to click that blue link, and you're going to create a password. It says reset password. You're going to create your password. You might also want to try, if you don't receive an email from us, check your junk file, because sometimes things go to the junk file. Okay, so after you hit submit, you check the email. You're going to go back to sign in. Your username is going to be your email, and then your newly created password, and you're going to apply for admissions. The application is probably going to take you about 15 minutes, maybe 25 minutes when you submit it. It's going to usually takes about 5 to 7 business days to process an application, but because of COVID, things are taking a little bit longer. If you haven't received an acceptance letter in, I don't know, maybe a week, send me an email. I can check the status of your application, and I'll be glad to send you an acceptance letter. Okay. So, Barb, let's go to, I guess, the students. I don't know how many of you have applied or not, but the application doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't obligate or bind you anything, and your application is good for a year from the time you apply or for the time you last attend. We have an open admissions policy, meaning if you apply for admissions, if you have your high school diploma or GED, you'll be accepted. So that shouldn't be an issue for most people. Okay, what screen are you on? I think go back a screen. Okay, all right, so under the Getting Started tab, the links that you see, the apply for admissions, explore ways to pay for college, determine test needs, and so on, those are some of the things I'm going to highlight today. I'm not going to talk in great detail because there is a lot of detail, but we'll be glad to help you. I've told you how to apply for admissions. One thing that you will need to do is you'll have to take a placement exam unless you're exempt. We don't require the SAT, we don't require the ACT, but we will accept the TSIA. And as I mentioned earlier, a lot of people refer to that as an entrance exam, and it's not. It's a placement exam. It determines your level of placement. Are you college ready, or do you need some developmental classes? And when you speak with an academic advisor, the academic advisor is going to look at your TSI scores, and they can place you in the classes according to your scores. Okay. I think that most of us here today are not in high school. We know what minimum wage is. It's $7.25 an hour. We know that 40 hours a week is $290 a week. At 52 weeks a year, that's a little over $15,000, and that's just not a living wage. So I always ask students, when I go out and recruit, I ask them, what are you going to do after high school to make more than minimum wage? Many of the programs that we have here at CTC, whether it's a one-year certificate or to your associate's degree, have wages starting more than $7.25. If you think you're going to work 40 hours a week at $7.25, it's just not going to work. So because businesses can't afford to pay for your health insurance, so they're not. So they're gonna work you a minimum, maybe 28 hours a week, 30 hours a week, and you're gonna have to have another job to have more than 40 hours a week so you can have a living wage. $15 an hour in Killeen, Texas, I think is doable. $15 in Austin, Texas is not necessarily doable. So what are you going to do after high school to make more than minimum wage? Okay. Let's see here. What else can I talk about, Barb? I always mention to students, it doesn't matter if you go to a community college first or a 4-year all the way. If you come to a community college first, CTC, and then transfer to a 4-year school, your degree is going to stay the same. It's going to be less expensive, and when you start to work, you're going to get paid the same. So let's say that you decide that you're going to be a teacher. If you come to CTC and then transfer to Stephen F. Austin, Sam Houston State, University of Texas or something, and you come back to work for Clean ISD, you're going to get paid the same, whether your degree says University of Texas for 4 years or whether it says CTC and then University of Texas. So that's a great thing to consider. I have a friend whose son was going to go to a 4-year university this past semester, I guess this past fall, but because of the pandemic, he decided, I'm just not going to go to university and sit in the dorm all the time. I can stay home at a community college and take college classes. The English 1301 at CTC is the same thing as English 1301 at University of Texas, all the state institutions, publicly funded institutions in the state of Texas. So really, I think that's all I have as far as the application process and so on, unless y'all have anything to add, Barb or Marcelli.
I think we're good.
Hey, Jeff, I don't know if you want to address once you go through the application process, there may be some things that you need to provide.
Additional documentation.
A little bit about like residency, especially, if you're at Fort Lewis and you don't have a claim to be a Texas resident, then yours is easy. We won't ask you a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. But if you're living here, there's a series of questions on the application, and depending on how you answer, admissions is going to be in touch with you to get additional documentation. So, and one thing that you really do need to know, and I just thought of this, is as soon as you are accepted you will receive a student email address. So look for that acceptance and then look for an activation email for your student email. If you do not receive that, please contact one of us, because everything from that point is going to be sent to you via student email.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But
Right.
Jeff, I don't know if you want to just
I
do
think
a
you
short on
addressed
the residency.
the residency, as Barb mentioned, depending on how you answer the questions on your application will determine if we need additional documentation for residency. If we need something, we can send you an email and say, hey, we need these documents to determine your residency. Sometimes you won't receive that. Some students will. And okay, Amy's addressing that one. But Virginia, we can. Oh, I thought it said acceptance letter. We'll be glad to help you with the acceptance letter and the student email and so on. If you're 21 years of age or younger, if you're taking a face-to-face class, we need a Bactrim meningitis. But as it stands right now with the pandemic and everything, it's not required on campus because it's not required for the courses right now because they're virtual classes. The distance learning classes, doesn't matter how old you are. If you're 21 years of age or younger, we don't need the Bactrim meningitis. But if you're taking a face-to-face class, and it's not just CTC, but institutions throughout the state, will need a Bactrim meningitis proof of the vaccination. So I think that's all I have. And I believe either Kiana or Sharon is going to speak a little bit to you about how to pay for college, financial aid, scholarships, and things like that. If y'all have any questions, I'll put my email back up here, and feel free to email. I'm glad to help.
All right, Kiana, are you ready? Or Sharon, who's next? Well, while they're trying to figure out how that's going to work.
Well, let's make sure they know they're muted.
Hello. Just so you know, they work in financial aid office, and right now they're usually very, very busy, actually at all times of the year. And I bet you they're multitasking and trying to help students and do other things at the same time.
And if you have applied for admission and you haven't applied for financial aid, you should do that. Regardless of, if you're using tuition assistance, you can still apply for financial aid. That opens up also the ability to apply for some of our scholarships at some point. So even if you don't think that you're eligible, just apply.
So basically what happens is we did start a new program where we're going to have a whole financial aid session happening. And that's going to be happening every second Tuesday of the month. And so if you have specific questions that are for financial aid, they are available to answer them. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to give the whole spiel today. So let us know if you have any questions, just so that you know. Right now, we still have some, I will actually, let me show you guys. I'm going to open it up and I'll show you guys some things that you might want to keep kind of be aware of and that are going to be helpful to you as a CTC student. You should be able to see my page. One of them is as a student. If you click on student, current student, you have financial aid. That's the link where you can actually see all of the information that you have for financial aid. That includes the FAFSA information with the CTC school code. I know somebody asked for it in the chat. I saw that a minute ago. The types of aid available, they're in here as well. We have grants, loans, scholarships, and work study. Right now is the time to request your scholarships for the fall 2021 semester. And if you click on that right there, it kind of gives you some of the information about it. The deadline is to apply for those are February 28th, and you can be a student at any location. It doesn't matter to apply. And if you click here under scholarships, it will show you under the CTC academic works. These are all the scholarships that are available to students. You do have to apply, and to apply, basically you sign up, you create your, you have to do your admissions, have to be out of a degree plan, but once you do that, you do sign up here. You basically put your basic information. There'll be a few questions. They are going to ask you to type a small essay. Don't get scared. All they're trying to see is, you know, do you qualify for any of these scholarships? Are there any circumstances? For example, are you a veteran? You might want to include that in there. Are you active duty? You want to include that in there. Did you graduate from a specific high school? Sometimes that can be a factor. So they just want to know information like that to be able to identify if there's a scholarship that might be a good fit for you. And we have right now until the 28th of this month to be
Just
able to
4
do
more
that.
days.
So, which is only yeah. So you still have time. Go ahead and apply for the scholarship. Fill all that information in as soon as you can. This is going to be again for the fall 2021 semester. But if you do that, you apply to CTC, make sure that you have a degree plan, then you will be eligible for one of these, potentially eligible for one of these scholarships. So I want to make sure that you know that. And then, like I said, if you go to that page again where it was student financial aid, then we have a lot of the information that you need to know, the dates also, and information for the FAFSA. It also has links to the actual FAFSA form, which is the federal application for federal student aid. That's how people get the Pell Grant and student loans through the federal government. If you have questions, you're welcome to use the chat here. There are some, there's an email of the live chat, and then of course there's a phone number if you have specific questions for them.
Mark, Shelley, you were mentioning the live chat and so on. That goes with the admissions department has a live chat availability. Academic advising has a live chat. Financial aid, veteran services. There's multiple ways to contact us via telephone, live chat, email, and so on.
And because of all the circumstances that have been happening, some of us are working part-time from home, part-time at the office. So email is a really good one. The live help is a good one. You can call us, but depending on if we're in the office or not, it might take a little longer for you to get a hold of us. So I would say either email or even the live chat is usually a better option. So this is for the financial aid portion. Now, if you're a veteran, it's a little bit different. You can go to students again, and then go to military veterans, and you can click on that, and it's going to give you more information on how to apply and use your veteran services and here at CTC. There's way more information here. Again, they have their own chat if you're not sure. It tells you how to enroll and what are the benefits. And then again, if you go under students over here, if you need to have any credit evaluated from the military or any other location, like we were talking about, potentially from a degree that you already completed, you can go here and it gives you all the information that will be necessary for either military or any other kind of evaluation. This is how we're going to be able to help identify whether or not we can take those credits. So that's just a really quick, very, very quick overview on financial aid and some of the services that you might actually need or have questions about. Let me see. Yeah, make sure you have a student email. I cannot stress enough. I'm gonna be Matt Lyles for a minute here. He is one of our math instructors, and he is constantly talking about the importance of checking your Eagle Mail, making sure that you check it constantly. And if you're not going to check it often, that you have it forwarded to your favorite email, that content gets forwarded to the email that you check the most. Because that is how we communicate with you. That's why we gave you an email. We're giving you your own email. That's how we're going to communicate. If admissions, once you're admitted to CTC, if there's anything right after that point, financial aid, admissions, counseling, any kind of services that you request here, they are going to need for you to check your email, because that's how we're going